So now that I've finished OG Bleach and now that I've caught up to 1000 Year Blood War, I've pretty much consumed all canon material that there is for Bleach outside of reading the manga. But there is one piece of canon material that I've glossed over and I'm going to be talking about in this video: the first movie, Bleach Memories of Nobody. I remember mentioning this in a previous video and I had a couple comments of people confused because they didn't know that the movie, or at least a part of the movie, is actually canon. So here in episode 32, 1000 Year Blood War, we can see that Yoruichi mentions the Valley of Screams. The Valley of Screams is a location in Bleach that is not seen anywhere in the anime outside of the first movie. So from what I understand, I don't believe that this confirms that the events that took place in the movie are 100% canon, but I believe that the location and the concept of Valley of Screams, that is beyond a shadow of a doubt canon. That is true. And if you want to watch and you want to learn about the Valley of Screams, the only place you can learn about it at the very least is from the first movie, whether it be 100% canon or not. So I watched the first movie and I wanted to make a video of it, not only because a lot of y'all were asking me to, and here I am, but also I checked YouTube and there's not too many videos talking about the first movie of Bleach, which I thought surprising because, you know, with Bleach having such a large audience, I would assume that there would be more than just a handful of videos on the first movie, but there's not. So I'm likely gonna get into a couple spoilers about the movie, so if you haven't watched it and you intend to, feel free to click off, and I highly recommend that you watch the movie if you haven't yet. This movie captures the feel of OG Bleach so well. It's just a very nice atmosphere. It's very good at world building. Trust it, the world building in this movie alone is amazing. You see a lot of places that you would have never seen if you just stuck to the anime only material, but here it is. Here's the world of Bleach being expanded upon. So if you're a fan of Bleach on a deeper level than just watching the anime and getting it done with, if you're a fan of Bleach on a level of connecting with the characters, connecting with the world, then I would highly recommend that you watch this movie. But we're gonna get into it now. The first important scene of this movie is when Ichigo and Rukia run into the blanks. Now if you've only stuck to the anime or maybe the manga, I'm not sure if the blanks appear in the manga, I haven't read it, you wouldn't know about them. But it is now a fact that blanks are canon in Bleach. They exist because for the Valley of Screams to exist, blanks need to exist as well. So now the next logical question would of course be, what is a blank? So when a soul is migrating from the world of the living to the Soul Society, they first have to go through the Dangai. I'm sure y'all remember this when Ichigo went to the Soul Society for the first time. However, when a soul gets lost in the Dangai for whatever reason it may be, it basically wanders along the Dangai aimlessly with no memory, and when a mass amount of these spirits that have wandered off the Dangai form together, that is when the Valley of Screams is created. So that's pretty much what a blank is and how the Valley of Screams came to be. But there is just one more term, bear with me, I know I'm doing a lot of explain, I don't mean to be a teacher or anything, but the Shinenju. Basically the Shinenju is the culmination of all these memories from these blanks. It's this mass amalgamation of all of their memories combined into one being. So with all the vocabulary out the way, I apologize, we can now get into the main movie exclusive character. Honestly, a very well written character for being a movie only character, only having about what, 93 minutes of screen time. Extremely likable, extremely enjoyable character. I'm talking about Senna. So when Ichigo and Rukia run into all of these blanks that are in the world of the living for some reason, Senna is the one that comes out of nowhere and eliminates all of them. And what's interesting about Senna is that she has a Zanpakuto. She even releases her Zanpakuto, yet she doesn't know what division she's from. She's not even aware of the Soul Society, the Gotei 13, and when Ichigo and Rukia question her about who she is, where she's from, etc., what she knows, she's pretty much absolutely clueless. She knows nothing. She literally knows nothing. But as the movie goes on, we start learning more about Senna, not because she's being more open about herself and sharing her secrets, but because she herself is discovering what she is. Different events throughout the movie start jogging her memory, but as she starts getting more and more memories back, these events in her memory are a little bit more contradictory. They don't make sense. And it's because this isn't one person's memory. This isn't her memory. This is a culmination of a large amount of people's memories coming together into one person. So if you paid attention literally about a minute ago, you would start to piece together that Senna is the Shinenju, which is awesome. I guess it's cool, right? It's cool, but you know, not very suspenseful. You would easily be able to figure out that Senna is the Shinenju the second that the concept was even introduced to you. So I would probably advise y'all, if you haven't seen the movie yet, it's you know, don't expect some Soul Society level writing. The plot is kind of linear, kind of straightforward and pretty predictable. I would say the highlight of this moment is the character writing, specifically with Senna. I shouldn't say specifically, only with Senna. Senna is the only character introduced in this movie that I care about. The antagonist group group of this movie. I will say it's a cool concept in theory, a clan that was exiled from the Soul Society and forced to roam the Dangai, and now they want to destroy the world because they were exiled and whatnot. Yeah, fine. It's solid. Like, it's a solid idea. It's a solid concept. I just wish that we figured out why they were exiled. I feel like that would put more emotion and it would make us connect with them a little bit more on a deeper level than just, oh, this is the bad guys, this is why they're bad, and take it for what it is, I guess. But there's only so much they can do in 93 minutes, right? We're talking about an hour and a half. Majority of that screen time was allocated to Senna's character, and once again, Senna's character was amazing. Easily the highlight of this movie alongside the world building, so, you know, I'm not complaining here. But I feel like if we had a stronger villain group, it would make the movie feel a little bit more compelling, because once we got to that final segment of the movie where everybody is fighting the villains, oh, we got the Soul Society versus the bad guys, it's like, okay, the bad guys are just gonna get beat anyways. And obviously, you know, that was to be expected. This is a movie. Bleach is not gonna end here, but a little bit of tension goes a long way. And you know, this villain group did not build up tension at all. I would zero aura. zero aura is how I would describe them. But how does the villain group tie into Senna? So we know that Senna is the Shinenju, right? Since Senna is the Shinenju and she has all these different memories, the blanks are attracted to the Shinenju. They're attracted to Senna because they seek their memories. And then the mass amount of energy from all of these blanks all in one place is gonna, you know, force the Soul Society and the world of the living to collide, this, that, the third, whatever. We know it's not gonna happen. But at least we know it's canon. The Valley of Screams and the blanks, they're canon. Now, whether all of this happened with Senna, like I said, don't know, because I don't know where this fits in the timeline. From what I've read, I think the time slot that makes the most amount of sense is that 1 month time skip between the Soul Society and Aizen when they were about to fight each other. But even then, I feel like it's, you know, it's a little bit of a stretch. But the evil organization, they get their hands on Senna, they take Senna to the Valley of Screams, and now they're gonna go through their plan to, you know, destroy the world or whatever. You know, they're peewees. It's not gonna happen. We get a couple interesting fights with some Soul Reapers against the antagonist group. Now, these Soul Reapers are not supposed to be here. Yamamoto said, look, y'all can't go. But they went anyways, and they pretty much, you know, absolutely curb stomped the antagonist group, as to be expected. It's just enjoyable action. You know, I love seeing a Kenpachi fight. I love seeing a Soifon win, a much deserved thank you. And you know, more than anything, I love hearing Ichigo say Bankai. So the final fights, as much as we knew the outcome, as much as we knew it was going to be an absolute blowout victory for the Soul Society, it was fun. It was fun to watch. I feel like if you even like these characters, you'll enjoy this movie. Who doesn't like watching a Kenpachi fight, right? Name me one person. So whatever. Ichigo goes into Bankai, kills this guy. Wow. Sliced him in half. That was a little bit surprising. Ichigo, I did not know you were a cold-blooded killer. But he did it to protect Senna, so you know what? Much deserved. We didn't even care about that guy. Senna is freed, but the world of the living, the Soul Society, they're still on a collision course. They're about to crash, and Senna decides to sacrifice herself because she doesn't want to see Ichigo's world in shambles. It's actually very heartbreaking. Like, it's a really well-written moment, and this scene where Senna sacrifices herself to protect Ichigo's world and everybody living in it, it makes me wish that this movie is canon. And I'm 100% sure that it is, and I think the most compelling piece of evidence is Ichigo himself saying that he's been in the Valley of Screams before. The only time that he's been in the Valley of Screams, as far as the anime goes, is the first movie. But I've seen discourse about it, people saying, oh, well, that doesn't exactly prove that it's entirely canon, whatever. I feel like this is going to be something that people are always going to discuss about. To me, I believe it's highly likely that the entire first movie is canon. That's what makes the most sense to me. So y'all let me know what y'all think about it, because I want to gauge how many people believe the entirety of the first movie is canon versus how many people believe it's only a segment of it. But the statements that Ichigo made in that 1,000 Year Blood War episode, you know, it's pretty hard to dispute. But anyways, the ending of the movie hits just as hard as the scene where Senna sacrifices herself, because she's just barely hanging on to life, and she asked Ichigo to carry her to the grave to see if her name is written down there, and it's not. And throughout the entire movie, Senna has been struggling with her own identity because she has a bunch of different memories, remind you, the Shinenju, and it gets to a point where she's questioning her own humanity. So Senna remembers, you know, her grave, so that's her final wish before she dies. Ichigo, take me to the grave, maybe that will prove that she exists, and her name is not there, but Ichigo tells her it is. And then Senna dies, and it hits Ichigo hard because Ichigo wants to protect everybody that he cares about, and he's obviously learned to care about Senna throughout this movie, yet she insisted on sacrificing herself to protect the world of the living and everybody in it. It's honestly a beautiful movie, and at the end of the movie, it's implied that Ichigo did not forget about Senna, and I hope he didn't, and I hope that it's canon. And dude, it was a great movie. That's all I'll say. I think the evidence is overwhelmingly yes, but I'll let y'all decide. Final thoughts: it was a really great movie, really great character writing with Senna. Plot wise, pretty predictable, bare bones, but enough to get me invested into the movie and appreciate it for what it is and enjoy it. Even though I had a couple criticisms about the villain group and whatnot, it's a great movie regardless, and a lot of it is carried by Senna, so I think it balances out. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all for getting me to 10K. I don't want to talk too much because this is where people usually click off because they don't care, right? But I gotta thank y'all. Thank you to my channel members, of course. I hope that y'all have a great day. Thank y'all for putting me onto this movie. Take care, y'all.